Hey guys, so this is my first Christmas review of the year, so let's get the season started with Love Hard, and hence the name Hard. It was a hard movie to get through. So it's that awkward post-Halloween, pre-Christmas time of year where I feel like they start getting out the bad Christmas movies in November. It's like an entree, you know, it's not really what you're excited for. You're excited for the main course. And the main course is December, where they have the good Christmas movies. This is just whetting your appetite, you know what I mean? And this, look, I'm just going to be honest, I really didn't like this movie. I found it very hard to get through. And I generally find these type of movies, you know, the ones that I'm talking about, the cheesy Lifetime Hallmark movies where a woman inherits a castle or marries a prince, you know, that sort of wish fulfillment thing. I actually do find them enjoyable. Yeah, I bet you weren't expecting to hear that, but I do. Like, don't get me wrong, they're definitely not my favourite genre of all time, but I do enjoy them from time to time. Like the cheesy, campy ones like Holiday in Handcuffs or Dear Santa, or that TV show that came out last year, Dash and Lily, which is sort of the same thing. I really enjoyed those, but this one, I don't know. I don't know if it was because the main actress, I think her name is Nina Dobrev. I always just think of her in my head as that vampire showgirl. I don't know if she and the main actor, I don't know his name, just didn't have any chemistry, but I don't know, I really found it hard to concentrate on this movie, which went for nearly 2 hours, and I felt like it really didn't need to be that long. So first off, this is definitely a movie that would get made in this year and this time. This isn't a movie that I really see getting made like 10, 20 years ago, because basically the movie is about catfishing. So if you're not aware of what catfishing is, it's basically when you do yourself up online, like the girls that have heaps and heaps of makeup on, and then you meet them in person and they look nothing like what they look like online. So you see this a lot in the dating websites. And that's what this movie is about. This movie is about Nina Dobrev's character, who is a writer in Los Angeles, and she writes about all her horrible dating experiences. So she's trying to find love online on this website that is basically like Tinder. And basically she meets this guy who she thinks is the perfect guy. And then she decides to fly all the way to his house, even though she's never met him before in real life, and surprise him, which is, wow, that is a bold move to make. But hey, you know, it's a movie, I guess. I don't think people really do that in real life, do they? Anyway, so she goes and flies to see him, and she finds this guy answering the door. Well, he doesn't answer the door. His parents do, and they tell her to wait for him, and then he comes home, and he looks completely different in real life, and it turns out that he was using these pictures of this guy that he knows, the popular jock guy from school, to make himself look better than he was. Sort of like that movie, I can't remember the name. So it's basically like that, about, you know, someone catfishing someone and then they look past all the superficial, shallow differences and fall in love. You know, it's a total cliche. And don't get me wrong, I completely agree with the message behind this movie. You know, this superficial judging just so quickly on appearances, Tinder sort of, you know, society that we live in. I think it's definitely making a good statement how we should get to know people more instead of making snap decisions about them. But at the same time, I just feel like even though it was a good idea and I'm totally on board with the idea, it was a bad execution of the idea. So one thing that I kept thinking was, what did this guy think was going to happen when he finally met a girl off the internet in real life? Like, did he think that she would just be okay with it? Like, they sort of touched on his response to that in the movie a little bit, but he never really says what he actually was planning to do. Anyway, so this movie enters into that classic cliche that we've seen so many times. It's sort of the same thing in that movie I was talking about earlier, Holiday in Handcuffs, where the girl pretends to be in a relationship with the guy because she doesn't want to hurt his parents because they think that she's really his girlfriend. And then, of course, they fall in love, who saw that coming, Could never have guessed that that was how the movie was going to end. Anyway, so, look, I am fine with the good cliche. There is nothing wrong with a cliche, as long as it's done correctly. And this, I just felt like the two main leads had no chemistry. The script was really choppy and awkward. The moments that were meant to be funny weren't funny. It just felt so awkward so much of the time. And yeah, I really didn't like this movie. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. So if you've seen it, let me know in the comments down below what you thought of it. Do you think I'm being too harsh? And what is your favourite cheesy, lame, corny Christmas movie that you actually love? And if you could subscribe, like, all of that stuff, that would be great. Thanks, guys.